The amount of people that visited America this summer and have had their minds blown by what they've seen and experienced is massive. Like, you've got people who are saying America is like the future. And to be honest, it's kind of hard to argue with that. When I went to Austin last year and I got into one of those Waymo taxis, basically what they are is that they're Ubers that don't have a driver. They're like white cars that have like a computer and a radar at the top, and they've got no driver. You just get in the back and it takes you to where you're going. I legit felt like I was in a sci-fi movie. It was incredible. It does feel like in certain ways, like America is a few years ahead of the UK, just in a few ways. And it's just going to be fun to see if these other people like feel how I felt.
Tax to live, tax to travel, tax to buy a house, tax to sell a house, tax, taxed to buy a car, taxed even if you have a spare bedroom in your house, taxed yet again on tax-paid money after you die, death tax.
Yeah.
There is non-stop taxes in Australia and all these new taxes coming in.
Same as in the UK, it's awful. We get taxed. You leave the house, you pay a tax.
An increase in capital gains tax because yet we don't pay enough of that apparently. Albo, give the people a break. The Aussies are fed up, mate. How can you enjoy life anymore?
The top two questions I get asked on my social media pretty much every day is, why on earth did you choose to move to America? Are you going to stay living in America? It got me thinking, of all of the British people I've either met in person since living in the US, I am friends with, or they DM me, and I need to tell you something. Not a single one of them has told me they hate it here. Not a single one of them regrets moving here. Every single one of them got giddy when we started talking about our lives. And I'd say maybe like 70 to 80% don't want to move back to England. The people that do want to move back to England are mostly moving because their visa expiring, or they're moving for family ties.
Yes, literally family, maybe somebody's ill, that kind of like a serious problem is happening.
I actually had a friend who lived in Boston. She's from the UK and she just recently moved home. And she won't mind me saying this, but she has been really struggling with that decision that she made. Because I'm going to tell you very honestly, it is very, very hard to come back from when you've experienced what life can be like here. But I'm telling you from my personal experience, once you go America, you don't really want to go back. Food for thought for anybody that is shocked that you would move here. I've had hateful messages.
Hateful messages. Isn't it crazy? Like, she made a decision that was best for her and her family to move to America, and people are giving her hate for that. Isn't that wild? Like, can't people just be supportive of other people? And if you don't want to say anything kind, just don't say anything.
I've had people just genuinely concerned. And I think the only people that I really would respect their opinion on for this are people that have lived in both countries. And I would totally respect that person if they wanted to move back to England. England aligned more with what they were looking for, right? But if you're someone that's never lived elsewhere other than
Then how can you comment?
the US, and you judge someone for moving to the US, or you're English and you've never even been to the US, I personally believe wholeheartedly that you should never judge someone for their reasons for doing something in life or moving somewhere. Only you know what's right for you. I have never, since moving here, bashed England. I believe it's an incredible country and I love where I'm from and I'm very proud of where I'm from. But England is not my happy place. The US is my happy place. When Ollie and I moved here, it just felt like everything in our life clicked into place. And it was like, this is where we were always meant to be. I don't know if what's happening to Ollie and I since we moved to the US is the American dream or not. All I can say is that what we've experienced is living here in terms of opportunities and zest for life is everything and more.
Honestly, like, it's hard to argue with anything she says. Like, the people that I know that have gone to America, they just make more money, they have more fun, they can do more things. Like, the UK right now, I love this country, I love England, love being born here, but the way it's set up right now, it's almost kind of like they don't want you to progress. Like, the more you make, they just tax you so much. And I know that you pay tax in America, but here it's crazy how much tax you pay. If you make £100,000 in the UK, right, you will only receive in your account about 65k out of that 100k. You'll only get out of £100,000, which is about 8k a month, roughly 8.3 a month. You'll only get 5.7k. They just tax you so much.
Another Australian brand just went under. Can you actually be surprised with the state of that economy? It's a race to the bottom. Everybody's looking for what's the cheapest and what they can get on a sale. People save up just so they can shop on Black Friday. It's actually impossible to run a business over there with the amount of taxes and the amount of taxes being brought in weekly by the government. And then you take in consideration that you're losing 40 cents to $1 every time you buy from China. And then it comes from China, you got to pay duties at the airport. How's a business going to maintain or scale or have any cash reserves? It's impossible. People in Australia line up at the gas station to save 4 cents a litre. They will line up for an hour. They don't value their time. They don't value anything. All they look for is a discount. To the people that you're relying on to support your business. If you're stupid enough to open a business in Australia and run it, then you know what you're in for. And I know a lot of you get upset with me talking bad about Australia, but I'm just being realistic in everything that I've seen day to day. The average 20-year-old cannot buy a house there. The average...
Same as the UK. Like, the only way you can buy a house in the UK or in London as a young person is if your mum and dad help you significantly. They give you a lot of money to put down as a deposit, or you're in a very, very, very well-paid job. Like, and by very well-paid, London well-paid, I'd say at least minimum 70k minimum.
20-year-old cannot start a business, can barely make ends meet. And tell me then, what's so good about the place? Free healthcare?
And £70,000 is about $100,000 roughly.
I am a Brit who moved to Dallas, Texas last year, and I want to talk about one of the main things I always get asked after moving here, and that is, what is the biggest difference between Texas and the UK, or what is the thing that you love the most about living in Texas now? And one of the biggest differences is the people. Like, I cannot get over how friendly everyone is here. It's so different to the UK, specifically London. London is like a dead city. Like, it is so hard to make friends in London. I've been living there pretty much my whole life and I haven't made one friend.
I mean, I don't think it's really hard to make friends. I think you really need to put yourself out there. But there is definitely, a lot of people are really tired here because they have to just work so hard to make good money. Like, you're just working almost constantly. So people are just exhausted.
In London, aside from like my core friend group, obviously from school and things like that. I've been in Texas now for like 8 months and I can't even tell you how many times people will just come up to you and talk to you. Like,
I love that.
I think it's like a Southern thing. And like, people just have that Southern hospitality, but I'll go to like a Pilates class and then it will finish and a girl will come up to me and be like, hey, do you want to grab a coffee after this? What's your name? And I'm like so shocked by that. I can't get over how welcoming people are.
I would like that sort of culture, that spontaneous, fun, positive. It's just a nicer environment to be in, I think.
TikTok has cut half of this person's comment off, but basically they were asking, why do I feel living in America is better than living in England? This is such a complex question, and I think it's going to depend person to person because it depends on your preferences. Some people will absolutely think living in England's better, and some people will absolutely think living in America's better. But I'm just answering for myself and a lot of British people that live over here. It will 9 times out of 10 be higher wages, lower taxes, better weather, more positivity, more motivation, and a better quality of life in general.
Man, it's just really, really like pushing me to make the move. Like, I really, as some of you might know, I'm close to making the move, but like all the reasons she's just said, like the higher wages, better quality of life, lower taxes, they are just such big issues for me. Because in England, it just feels like they just want to keep you at a certain level. Like, even if you're making good money, as I mentioned before, the higher the money you make, they just tax you more and more and more. Like, they don't want you really to progress here. I just don't believe that. It honestly, it's On the one hand, it excites me about the prospect of moving to America, but on the other hand, it makes me sad about the amount of people, myself included, that are either really close to leaving the country or have left the country. Like, so many like ambitious, you know, positive thinking young people have left this country for not just America, but Dubai. Like my little brother, he lives in Dubai now. You know, so many people have left for other countries in the Middle East. Australia is another big one. Canada, just because this country right now, because they can't get the economy to grow, and because they spend so much money on people who are out of work, like they need to find somewhere to get the money from. So they're just attacking the middle classes so hard. Like they're just hitting us with tax after tax after tax. It is suffocating almost how expensive it is. Like you get your paycheck, you've lost, you know, almost half of it sometimes in taxes. You know, you go out, you want to buy something, it's expensive, like, and you're getting less. Like here, there's something called shrinkflation, where the same item is smaller and more expensive now. It's just not a great time to be in this country, unfortunately. So I totally get why people are just moving to places like America, which I'm not saying America's perfect. Obviously, America has its own problems, I'm sure. But I just feel like the environment there is just a lot more, what's the word? A lot more conducive to the way I want to live my life at the minute. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And if you did, check out this video right here and hit the join button below. See you there.